Good morning, folks. Welcome to Ferrum Wrestling 411. I'm your host, Gary Holden. With me, of course, is head wrestling coach Nate Yetzer, junior Collin Saunders, and sophomore Andrew Tolbert. Fellas, welcome to the show.
Welcome. I'm a junior.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. We're starting the show off well. So I think the first time you guys are both on the show, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. How about maybe we start off by having you guys just tell us a little bit about where you're from and everything, your wrestling background.
All right. Well, originally I'm from Norfolk, Virginia. I then transferred to Virginia Beach and won a state title at Cox High School, and then took a gap year and ended up here under Nate Yetzer.
Okay.
I'm all the way from New Jersey. Wrestled up there. Didn't quite make it to the state tournament. Had some weight issues. Seeing Yetzer at a club that he ran, and he just stuck to me. And then now I'm here.
Ended up here at Ferrum.
Yeah.
Came in projected at a real lightweight, and now you're up at 165 pounds or so.
Yeah.
I guess you didn't stop growing after high school. So,
Coach, 5 pounder.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about the preseason and everything. You guys just
Yeah.
went through your strength conditioning program and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Your official practices start tomorrow,
Yep.
October 10th.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about those.
Guys did a good job, for the most part, and preseason is just about building a base. The guys are ready to go, and when we start, getting after it in wrestling, and the guys did a really good job. I think it's been our best year as far as guys showing up and doing the right things, and came in ready to go for the most part.
And you've got a strength conditioning coach,
Yep.
Logan Meister. He
Yep.
was All-American for you, 3-time qualifier and everything.
Yep.
Guys, what's it been like to see him transition into that role from being your teammate to all of a sudden your coach?
I think it's a big step up maturity-wise. Just last year he was hanging out with us, doing stuff we do, and then now he's our coach, directing us, helping us get better, improving every day.
Well, it really didn't kind of switch too much for me because me and Meister was drill partners, and he always had that leadership figure to me. He was always that role to me. So it's not that big of a switch to me, just more so he's my lifting coach now. That's a little bit different because somebody my age is
Right.
doing the lifts. Pretty sweet.
I'm sure it's good to have someone like him on the mat. Once you guys start getting back on the mat and everything, it'll be great to have a guy with his technique and everything and his ability. Both your coaches are able to roll with you and everything, and you got Ryan Riggs in there as well. So you got 3 guys that can pretty much roll hard with you.
Yep.
Yeah, really, really nice having Meister, an All-American, Yetzer, a D1 All-American, and Riggs just shy of being the same level. All of them in the same room, and I gotta go the same tempo as I do with Yetzer as I do with Riggs.
Yeah.
So there's no breaks in between.
Probably no easy practices.
no easy practice.
Especially since all of them are close to our weights.
Yeah.
As wrestlers and everything, and a couple of the leaders, you guys are juniors and everything. Talk about the expectations that you guys have for the year.
Well, I think that we have a really good chance of taking at least 4 or 5 guys to nationals this year. I think a few of us could definitely All-American. I think we could end up being top 3 team in the country.
I have the same goals as Collin. The same.
Well, it's got to be heartening for you guys knowing that Collin, you went to the NCAA tournament last year, won 1 match. I think came within a match of making All-America. Yep. And Andrew, you were right there. You were very close to going to the 5th in the regions last year. Had a little bit of trouble with your weight at the end of the year, but you seem like you have it really well under control right now. And it seems like you guys are both pegged to to have a good season this year.
Oh yeah, definitely been working hard all preseason.
Got to take it match by match. One thing I messed up a lot last year, I was worried about kids' rankings. Was this kid ranked? Was this kid ranked? Just go out there and have fun.
Yeah.
Remember that wrestling. I can't do it. Only got 2 more years.
Sure.
I remember when me and Paul Biggs were just wrestling off. Now I'm in that same spot, but I'm at Paul now.
Yeah.
Paul Biggs was a former NCAA qualifier and assistant coach last year for you and helped out and was our cross-country coach. And Paul has moved on. He's now down at Moorhead High School,
Right,
which
yep.
was his high school. He's down in
His
North
alma mater,
Carolina,
yep, absolutely.
coaching at his alma mater, and I think he's teaching math down there as well.
Mathematics, doing a great job, and he really hit the ground running down there. Saw him this weekend, hung out with him this weekend, and we had a coaches social up in Roanoke, and for all the local high school coaches, and just kind of a meet and greet, and hopefully kind of encourage them to come to our matches and keep building a fan base. And but he's got some big plans for their school down there, and wrestling is pretty important down there. So I think
Sure.
Paul will do a good job. He's got the support. So
Sure, they host one of the qualifiers for the Super 32 every year, don't
exactly.
they?
Yep,
Yeah.
that was huge. Yep.
Yeah, and Paul's a big part of that program. They've been very impressed. They were really pleased. All the people down there, Eden, North Carolina, were real excited for him to go to college, and probably now more excited to have him come back
Absolutely.
and spread his wrestling experience and acumen. And,
Yeah, he can relate to those kids down there. You know what I mean? Just because he grew up down there, and blue collar guy that works really hard, and
Yep.
I think so they could really relate to those guys.
real working class environment and everything,
Yep.
and I think Paul just is excited to get back down there. So we miss him here, so come up and visit us often, Paul.
Yep.
We got a chance to see him at homecoming. He swung up in the press box. I was doing football stats, and I talked to him for probably a total of 30 seconds, but
Yeah.
just got a chance to say hey.
He got a lot of squirrels down there too, so
Yeah.
he's really happy.
Paul used to hunt squirrels up my house all the time. So, talk a little bit about the events that you guys are excited about this year. I know that you two guys both had real good success last year at the not the Panther Open. The,
Pete Wilson.
and
Yep.
but the tournament that we hosted, the Star City.
Yeah,
Also,
Star
you guys
City,
both
yep.
won titles
Yep,
last
that's
year.
right, yeah. Yep.
Between that one, the Wilson, you guys got to have some excitement for some of these tournaments.
Oh yeah, I'm most excited about the Stevens duel. Like, got a little rivalry over there, so I'm trying to get some avenged losses. So
You've got a personal rivalry with because you beat the guy at the regionals, then fell at the NCAA tournament. So
Yep.
you've got some work to do there, huh?
oh yeah.
I'm looking forward more towards like the Tennessee duels. Maybe we can hit like Elmhurst again. A lot of teams out there that I want to get revenge on too.
Okay. That Tennessee duels we're talking about, that is the Gator Boots duels.
national,
You've been going to that for about four
Yeah,
years now?
ever since our first year as a varsity program, I've been going there, and I think it's always been a good one. I think the first year we took a JV team too, and we went 0-5. To last year, losing to Olivet again. I think it's third year in a row we lost to Olivet. For whatever reason, we just haven't matched up well with them. But I'm hoping to get them again this year, and I do think that's a fun event. I think our guys really enjoy it. It's right before winter break too, so
Sure.
I think they get that nice little break afterwards, and it's something they get really excited about. So
My wife Leslie and I think that we're going to be able to go this year. It seems to every year it falls on we have a home basketball or swimming or something, and this
Right,
is the first
yeah.
time it's never been like that. So we're planning to make that
but your
trip.
cowboy, but that's not the cowboy boots.
Yes, I will. I'll get my hat and everything too.
That's
So, Coach, any word yet on where the regionals will be held this year? I know last year we had to jump in and take it and everything.
Right, it's
but-
looking like it's going to be up in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Almost pretty sure it is. Which obviously our regional changed a lot. We are now in the Southeast regional. It's a new regional. It kind of broke the regionals up a little bit, evened them out, which they needed to do. We were wrestling teams up at Long Island, teams on the Hudson River.
Sure.
All the way down to Greensboro. So I think it makes more geographical sense the way they have it set up now. And we lost some really good teams. I think out of the top 6 teams in our regional, we lost 5 of them. We're the only one that returns.
Okay.
But we gained, obviously, Messiah comes in our regional, and they're very strong. Messiah, Lycoming, and York, and Wilkes, they always have strong teams, strong
Sure.
individuals, and they're all coming in. So I think it's an even trade, probably. And I'm really excited to wrestle Messiah, and obviously they very strong program the last 7 or 8 years, and they obviously got a great thing going. So I'm not looking ahead of the other teams, but that's one I really look forward to. So.
Well, I know that Wilkes was a team that was in our region a couple of years ago,
Right, yep.
and they got moved out when they
bounced
did
around.
a realignment. And then, are they doing the realignments because there are more and more programs starting up, and they have to figure out where to
Yeah,
put them? And
that's
keep
one,
the strength?
and it was really unfair. I mean, we had 21 teams in our regional last year, and there was one out in the West that had 11. So it wasn't equitable. It wasn't
Sure.
real fair. So I
Because
think,
every region still has only 3 qualifiers per
Right.
weight class, so it's a little
Exactly.
bit easier when you have 10 guys to compete with versus 20 guys.
Exactly. And that team with 11 regional. So there was a couple weights where they won one match. One guy won one match, and he was in the nationals. With the nationals, had a bye, then had a bye into the finals. A couple weights were so small.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's obviously and some of our guys. Tolbert, how many matches you win?
I won 4-3.
Yeah, he fell short. You know what I mean? He won 4 matches and fell short. So I think obviously it's not. They need to make it more fair. And they did. And obviously the fact in location was the biggest thing, but also strength. Strength of the teams.
Right.
over the course of the last few years.
Right.
And then also conferences, they wanted to keep all the conferences somewhat together.
Okay.
So some teams that were
Gotcha.
close to us got eliminated, but
Right.
it worked out really well. I was really excited that they did it, and it makes a lot more sense. So.
Okay. Good. Well, we're excited to see what's going to happen with that. So we're in the Southeast Regional as
Yep.
opposed to the East Regional.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Talk a little bit about conference. I mean, we've been in the Southeast Wrestling Conference. Is that still going this year?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. And York's coming into it this year, so I think it'd be, obviously it's good to see them before the
Strong
regionals.
program, yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. They always produce a few good guys, and up and down the lineup, pretty strong team. So, but they're in it. Then obviously all the other same teams: Ozarks, Huntington, Greensboro, Southern Virginia, Hampton, Sydney.
Okay.
So it should be pretty competitive, and obviously we've had a lot of success there the last few years. And
Sure.
for us, it's great because you can enter more than one guy. So some weights, heck, 3 of the weights last year, I think 3 or 2 of the 3 of the weights, it kind of settled who was going to be in our lineup for us. You know what I mean? So, we hate to wait to the end of the year to do it, but I think it makes sense. So,
Sure.
but then, obviously, we're excited about that as well too.
I think I remember seeing a number of Ferrum finals where it was our A and our B guy
Right.
going
Yep.
in at the conference title. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wanted 20 champs. That's the goal. It's impossible, but that's what I want.
Champs, okay. 20
Maybe that's
finalists,
unrealistic.
20
I don't know.
finalists?
No, 20
Unless you
champs.
get-
20
Unless you
champs.
get some funky math, yeah.
Yeah. Call
All right,
Biggs
so-
up. He's a mathematics teacher. Call Paul. Do that.
Yeah, really. Paul Biggs, we need you down here.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, we're real excited about the season and everything. I know you guys have got to be excited about the season and everything. Well, I'd like to give you guys an opportunity to say hello to your parents or family members. If there's anybody that you'd like to say hi to, feel free to use that time right now.
Hey, Mom.
Mom, Dad, and my sister. And my sister just had my niece, Ileana, so I wanted to say hello to them.
How long ago?
Like 3 months ago.
Okay. That's a good deal.
So, yeah. But about the season, we've been working pretty hard this preseason. A little bit, I like that Yetzer laid off of the time length. If we work really hard in a shorter time, so he compensates with the times. So we don't have to work 2 hours if we can do it in an hour of work. We just have to make sure that the 28, 32 guys that are on the team are willing to put the hour and a half work in every day.
What is your roster size right now, Coach?
We got, I think we're looking at about 42 guys right now, but, obviously we try to keep it around 28 to 30. I think it's just, for our room size, it makes sense, and I think some guys, once we start up, I think some guys, they're better suited and kind of slowing things down a little bit and more focused on grades and because I think some guys is overwhelming, like just the amount of work that not only that I require, but these guys require. The guys on the team, the leadership. So I think that's I think some guys that scares some guys away, but some guys need to slow it down a little bit and just get worried about school and getting better at wrestling. And
you slide them down to the club program.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Some of them want to be down there. It makes sense, but we're going to make some decisions on that as we progress here, and obviously haven't really got a good eye on them yet. So. But no, I'm excited. It's really turned into the last few years. I can really, I don't really have to be. I mean, I'm there for support, get the guys tools they need to be successful. But ultimately, these guys are taking it upon themselves because they want to be part of a great team. And I think there's still a lot of work to do, obviously, but the guys have done a good job so far. Yep.
And you give a lot of guys a lot of opportunities. I remember when I was in college, if you wrestled 22, 24 matches, you were wrestling a lot of matches. Now our club guys get 22, 24 matches. And you guys probably had closer to 40 matches last year.
Yeah.
I think at one point in time, Tate had like a 40 and 11 record. And it's 50 matches, 50 plus matches that he wrestled. I know Meister wrestled 50 matches a couple times.
Yep, it's junior, yeah. I mean, it's a balance, obviously. Now, we're at a point now, we got older guys, so, I mean, it doesn't suit, it doesn't make sense for these guys to wrestle 40 matches. I'd rather them get 18, 22 really good matches than get 40 matches.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of what we're, I guess, steering toward more. We limited a couple of events. Added some dual meets, and because I like dual meets, I just think, it's a pressure situation for a lot of guys. Everybody's watching that one match, and I like to put my guys through some adversity to see how they handle it, because I want to know I can count on them at the end of the year.
Sure.
With third and fourth place match at regionals, that's the go-to match, and I got to know guys I can count on them. You know what I mean, to get through, to bust through, and so. Schedule's changed a little bit in that sense. We're probably going to hold some guys out of events here and there. The goal in mind is regionals and nationals next year. You know what I mean? So
one of the things we didn't talk a little bit about yet was the when you talk about dual meets and everything, you guys are going back to the NWCA national duels again, and you can't have much more pressure than that.
Yeah,
Last
absolutely.
year, you guys really responded well. Lost one match that could have put you in 7th place, finished in the top 8.
Right,
which is
absolutely.
impressive.
Yep. Close. We were knocking on the door. I mean, Augsburg was a little better than us. I think if we had a full lineup in there, and guys, 2 or 3 of the guys that we took on the trip didn't wrestle very well. You know what I mean? And just had a bad weekend. You know, Andrew had an okay weekend, but and then Rosenbaum did not have a good weekend, and that kind of hurt us a little bit. Plus, we had 84 didn't make weight, which kills you, you know, and then obviously Bailey was kind of banged up a little bit, and on top of that, Bechter was out. You know what I mean? He still wasn't eligible yet, so obviously you can make excuses, but I'm excited this year. I think if we remain healthy, I think it could be a pretty fun tournament for us.
Well, I know one of the things you want to talk about the next at our next 4-on-1 was a little bit of a weight by weight preview, but you got to be pretty excited about what you have coming. And I think that when we talk about this in 2 weeks, I think our fans ought to be pretty excited about the lineup.
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
Well.
I do think things will evolve throughout the season. I think there will be different guys in the lineup. It'll change. It's a fluid situation. I mean, we're just taking it week by week and just.
Sure.
Guys go out and get the most out of them every single week, and that's all you can ask for. I think at the end of the year, if you trust the process, things will take care of themselves.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And the best guy will emerge from each weight. It may not happen in November, but I think by March. The one thing I'm proud of is me and my staff and our team is we always seem to respond at the end of the year when it matters. So.
Well, it mattered last year when we stepped up and we made the announcement that we were going to host the regionals and had to do it over to high school and did it pretty much on about 2 weeks and 2 days notice, and we got it done.
Thanks
and then you guys responded by winning the tournament, and we led that thing start to finish. I mean, literally I think we won 10 straight matches to open the tournament with and a bunch of more by pins. So it was really good.
Never look back. That's the the whole 2 weeks leading up to that was we were focused on executing and I don't know what our motto was. That was bonus points. We worked on bonus points, getting falls because we knew. I knew what Stevens had. I knew they were loaded. You know what I mean? And just to put it in perspective, at the York tournament in November or December of last year, I think we matched up with them 8 times. 8 of our stars matched up with their 8 starters throughout the tournament. Mm-hmm. I think we went 1-7 or 0-8,
okay.
And then we flipped a lot of those over. By the end of the year, which is credit to the guys. So.
I see why Collin's talking about Stevens being a big meet for you guys. And that dual meet is taking place, I think, the night before the
Star City Open. Saturday, November 18th in Roanoke. So we got a lot of. I think we'll have a packed house and it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, we're real excited about it. So, well, fellas, listen. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having
Andrew, I know you've got a little apple twisting ritual. We're gonna unleash on the world here pretty soon. We're gonna tell some folks about in video, so folks will be watching that as well.
Look at those hands. Their hands. It is.
All right, folks. Well, for Andrew, Collin, and Coach and everything, I'm Gary Holden. Thanks so much for being with us, and we'll see you next time on Ferrum Wrestling 4-1-1.
Thanks, Gary.